Hey guys, it's Harvey from All Parts. You know, lately I've been speaking my mind, and for years I wish Marvel, not Marvel, what is it? The show that tells you how everything goes. Well, Mythbusters could do this. I'm laughing on gas prices. Now, I'm not exactly how sure it goes. It's been many years. It's been about 30 years when I used to know. But and after you hear this, I hope you truly go in and research this a little bit more, okay? Because it's been 30 years since I really know the truth. I used to work in propane, okay? I'm not saying what company, but I used to work with propane. They made a fortune. Until the guy sat me down and said, you know, Harvey, you know, this is why we make so much money and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I, oh my God, you're charging, now this is back in the 80s, for a 100-pound cylinder for a truck to come. Some people were paying $5 a gallon. The more you drop, the less price. But he said, yeah, he says, do you realize how propane came along? I says, no, not really. And many years ago, I used to be smart. I lost half my brain, okay? I don't know where it went, but it went somewhere. And like I said, you really, 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 really need to look this further. And we need to start standing up like, you know, storming streets. They get a barrel of oil, okay? And you're led to believe, since a barrel of oil costs $100, we're at $5 a gallon. Okay? No. It doesn't go from oil to gas. Okay? I forget how many steps it takes before gas. But before it turns to anything, you ever buy grease for your car? Well, you know, you grease your car, you know, it's $5 a little tube. Transmission oil and all that. There's many, many, many steps of producing a 55-gallon barrel before it gets to gas. First it goes to grease. Then they form that up. And then it goes to something else. Now it's starting to turn into a liquid. Now that they pull the synthetics out of it, so you say that 20 times. Synthetic shirts, underwear, anything, your clothes, synthetic, is from the same barrel, okay? Now, after everything's said and done, I forget where gas is in this mixture. But there's a raw form of diesel fuel and gas, okay? And one day, after all they're said and done, there's this cold vapor spewing out that they just, many years ago, just let it out in the atmosphere. They used to junk it, okay? They considered it junk because it was dirty, it was terrible, it stank, it was dangerous, and guess what? They call it propane. Propane companies buy, well, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit more now, probably it's less, but propane in the 80s, when I worked for a large propane company, they were buying it for 25 cents a gallon. Tankage to them. 25 cents a gallon, and I know of people that were buying it for $5 a gallon. You know, the little 100-pound cylinders that take roughly 27 gallons, whatever. $5 a gallon. And we don't think our government's ripping us off, okay? Yes, I know it costs a lot to convert all this stuff. But you know how many millions and millions and millions of dollars they're making? This is why they can make these ludicrous profits, is because they are taking the stick and they're wrapping sandpaper around it and sticking it somewhere. Okay? And we're allowing it to happen. We need an uprising in the United States over this. We really do. Don't take my word for it. Take this little bit of knowledge and start looking exactly how gasoline is manufactured. Out of a gallon of oil, they probably make about $500 a gallon. Okay? Because they make grease, and then they start making oil, and then they start making your clothes. So when you go buy a synthetic piece of garment and you spend $50 for it, oh wow, synthetics are going up. Just say, gee, that gallon, and it cost them $105 a barrel, okay? They made that barrel into about $500 a gallon. A gallon. And a barrel is 55. Okay? So, if they change that to 500, we go 500 times 55. Basically, is that right? 500 times 55 is $27,500. Do I have? Maybe I typed it in wrong. You gotta laugh about it. We need uprising guys here about our oil situation, because they are ripping us off. And please, do not take it on my word. It's been 30 years. Find out how they process oil. And the more you research it, the madder you're going to get. Find out exactly what happens to that barrel of 55-gallon drum of oil. See how many products it actually makes. And then go, okay, let's see, I bought a small 32-ounce thing of grease, so I grease my car myself because I want to save money, and that's $9. Gee, I had to get propane. Now, this is propane garbage that they used to spew. Garbage. Okay? Because it was dirty. Let's see, I got a big tank and I spent $3.84 a gallon. I got some people paying $8 a gallon. I fill up my tank and that was $1,500 to fill up. I filled up my car and I have a truck. I think it's funny. It's not even empty. I know it has a 22-gallon tank. And the pumps on the Outer Banks, even though you pay with a credit card, this is what I think is funny. You're paying with a credit card, okay? You want to fill up your vehicle. It stops at $75. So if you want to really fill it up, if you got a tank more than 20 gallons, you have to re-put your card in, enter the PIN and everything else to finish filling up. People, gas, they want gas right around $8 to $10 a gallon. And the government is waiting for it to be $8 to $10 a gallon. They truly want gas prices that high. But we can curve them off by education. The government always says, if we train people, train our kids, they can help us be better. Well, let's do one thing. Let's use the internet. Let's find out the process of oil. I'm not going to do it. When I used to go out in the field and Well, your warranty is void because, you know, this in the book. Oh, where in the book? Oh, yeah, hey, listen. I want to see your book. I'll show that on your chapter on your book. Because my book, you might think that is made up. So when I always do, you go out in the field and do inspections and everything else like that, I go, no, I want to see your book. My book's no good. I want to see your book. There it is, right in your book. Okay? Go after you see this and spread this around. What happens to a barrel of oil? And you find out how much they're making per barrel of oil. And the top of your head is going to explode off your brain. There's going to be blood all over the place because you're going to be so PO'd. Alright? This is our government at our finest. Absolutely lying to us. Okay? So please, go to somewhere. Go to a library, do some research on your own, and say, okay, we're going to take this barrel of oil. What do we make with this barrel of oil? And when you're done with the list about this long of products that are made with that 55-gallon drum of oil, a barrel of oil might have cost about $109. Even say it cost $300. Say it cost $300 a barrel. They still made thousands of dollars on that barrel because of other things. They're scamming us, guys. Okay? You just need to learn that they are truly, 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 truly scamming us about gas prices and grease and propane. Well, it went up. Yeah, okay, propane went up for you for, instead of buying them for 25 cents a gallon, it will cost you 26 cents a gallon, and I'm paying $8. That's why oil people make billions, guys. It's like selling water, okay? Purified water at $4.80 a gallon. They're making a fortune. What they do is they run it through a carbon filter, take out some impurities, and there you go. Get as mad as me. Get as frustrated as me. And do some research. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do a couple of YouTubes and I'll start showing bits and pieces of what a gallon of oil actually does. And you have to dig deep because they try to hide a lot of things. That's just one warning to let you know. They try to hide, snuff out a lot of things. My wife worked at Brookhaven National Lab. Make a long story short, this guy made this book about Brookhaven National Lab on Long Island, B&L. The government took it off for sale. I have a copy. Okay. And my father and my uncle and everybody else used to work for B&L, Brookhaven National Lab. One day I'll tell you some of the horror stories. I'll tell you one horror story. And I'll get off because I'm passing. My father was a carpenter. And one day they came out and they said they had to dump this field. And if you look on Long Island, people started getting sick before they really needed to get sued. They put in city water because B&L didn't want to get sued. So anyway, they dug this hole, okay? They called it a pond. And they needed to take this nuclear waste and put it in the pond and fix the reactor, which that wound up to be a scandal too because they never fixed the reactor. But it needed to be done by a certain date. Well, somebody fouled up on the date. So my father and this is coming from my father. My father unfortunately passed away. My father would never lie to me anyway. And he says, well, we dug the hole. Plastic came in today. We're going to spread it. And one of the engineers came out and he says, you guys didn't lay down the plastic? My father goes, no. We put 85,000 gallons of toxic waste in there last night. My father said he looked down and he said, ain't there no more? Our government, guy. This is our government. Alright? Stories I can tell you. Alright? But do yourself a favor. Look on how gas prices are made. What they chop it to. And how much money they make. And I hope you get mad. I really do. There needs to be an uprising around here because we are getting lied to. Take care, guys. Bye.